This question comes from Patreon supporter Alex G, also the highly esteemed moderator of the Lost Relic Games Discord. Hey Alex. Is independent game development as a full-time career a viable option if starting later in life with zero prior experience or skills? Now this is a really, really good question. Absolutely, yes. Starting game dev later in life is not in any way a handicap. If anything, it's an advantage in many respects. So let me tell you why. As adults, it's very difficult to often just throw caution to the wind, quit our day job and just go for it, basically. That's not a good idea typically, and often we have families and other life obligations. But one thing that does come with age comes maturity, discipline, and wisdom. And I found those, at least for me, to be hugely advantageous. Now in my 30s, I make better and more impactful, meaningful decisions than I ever have in my, teens or 20s. In fact, I squandered most of my early years, due to lack of discipline, playing, games all day and all night, drinking beer all day and all night. You see, when we're in a more mature phase of life, we have the ability to be much more decisive, learning things we need to learn more deliberately and efficiently. Though it's true that younger people absorb information more easily, like language and things like that, often there is a reluctance to do so for, let's say, learning maths or physics or programming. Often these things click a bit later. And that's what I found for me, that, I struggled a lot with some of these basic concepts growing up. And it wasn't until later on that, things just clicked. And I do believe that the progressive cultivation of things like patience and general life perspective has had a huge influence on my progress as a game dev. Admittedly, I wasn't very patient growing up. And in retrospect, I realized I was probably dealing with, anxiety and typical pressures young adults deal with, as we try to find our place in this world. Everyone's life story is, of course, different. Some find great clarity and maturity at early ages, often as a response to an early encounter with hardship that forced them to mature faster. And then, of course, you have adults that never experienced any adversity, who have been, coddled by their parents their whole lives. Then the moment they run into hardship, they freak the hell out. And there's also a big leap between, say, making a mini game and a sustainable business, the latter requiring a whole lot more discipline and commitment, a flavor of discipline and commitment that is typically uncommon in earlier life, unless you're, an elite performer or outlier, Cristiano Ronaldo or, Michael Jordan, which is why industry as a whole is not run by teenagers and 20-something-year-olds, maybe as workers, but not as the shot callers, not as the executives. And I guess it's also important to realize that life is very short. So when you find a path that you enjoy, something that you're passionate about, I say go for it, basically. Very few people actually find something in life that they're passionate about that they can actually apply as a career. Ultimately, nobody knows if they'll find success at the end of the path. That's kind of the gamble that we all take in life. But if the journey is fulfilling, one that brings us joy and satisfaction, then it's well worth it, in my opinion. Where my own journey, for example, goes, I don't know, where this all goes. It's either going to end in tears or in flames or maybe, somewhere. But I don't care where it really ends up because I'm enjoying every day as it comes. If I was starting right now with a clean slate, no programming experience, no game dev experience, I would be actually pretty excited because there's just so many resources to choose from, so many game-making frameworks, many of which don't even require coding experience. And, just so many fast learning approaches through, Udemy or YouTube tutorials, things that just weren't so easily available in the past. Over the years, I've tried to contribute to this knowledge pool by making countless free tutorials through my YouTube channel. I've also got a growing library of premium Unity assets, which serve the purpose of being foundation starting points for people either looking to learn how to make games or just try to get into specific genres faster. I've got one for making car games, I've got one for making platformers, I've added heaps of sample scenes that you can open up and build from, and importantly, I've done all the boring stuff like mapping, controls, Xbox, mobile, everything is mobile ready. All the code is really neat and fully commented and explains how, every function works. They're all fully customizable and you can make all manner of different games with them. And I still use these myself as starting points when I want to make games in particular genres. So not only will they help you on your own game dev making journey, but obviously they'll also help to support this channel and me continuing to make this kind of content. So if you want to check those out, please do hit up the links in the description of the video. So it's actually a very good time to start to combine, maturity and discipline with those resources, and then sprinkle in, if you have like an artistic flair or you know how to draw or you're creatively minded, that's a pretty good place to be in. I'd be pretty optimistic if I was stepping onto that path. I would not even be factoring in my age. But then of course we have the hard work factor that cannot be avoided. You cannot bypass the hard work, and anyone who has found success and done so ethically without, stepping on other people's toes will mirror that sentiment. Just to confirm what I said, 100%, I don't think that age in any way should be a limiting factor, because ultimately the game is, are we enjoying life? And if doing something makes you enjoy life and there's a chance that you can actually convert that into, work and a job long term, or a business or something like that, then it's a great opportunity. Like, if you were, I don't know, let's say you were carving like some kind of a dolls that are just kind of redundant now and don't really scale. Okay, you'd probably do it anyway because you enjoy it, but there's no real incentive at the end, where with a game dev, you can enjoy it, you can enjoy the journey, and you can have an incentive. So you've got two very important factors that can lead to a very, fulfilling life. So that's a good question, Alex. And, if you are of that kind of dilemma, then definitely I'd say follow it, because I think you clearly have a passion for it. Having spoken to you in the past, I think it's worth it. It's worth it. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do drop the video a like, and thanks to all the Patreon supporters who helped make this video possible. If you'd like to help support this channel and my work, you can check out the Patreon link below. Alternatively, you can wishlist my game on Steam.